Hello, is the Sinister Game Bino here with a new video. And in this video I'll be talking about the Reddit Online beta update that was pushed out yesterday. So to start off, we have Gun Rush now available. And then you can see the description there, but basically it's Rockstar's version of Battle Royale for Reddit Online. Reddit Online beta, that is. Which, I didn't really care too much for this mode. Not only is Battle Royale getting way too trendy in my opinion, which that might be a topic for another video that I might do on the second channel, but if you want it on the primary channel for some reason, but I think it fits the secondary channel more since I would have to be covering more games to prove my point, I will definitely be willing to do a video on my thoughts on Battle Royale. Now it's taken over the gaming industry and whatnot. But there are horses, but the horses in the mode don't really make sense. Like, you're not able to go around the whole map like a traditional Battle Royale. You're in a small proximity. Yeah, they did it with Motor Wars too, but at least proximity was bigger to account for parachuting and then vehicles. The fact that there's horses, they could have made the proximity bigger than it was, because I feel like the proximity is really lacking. And then you can see the weapons on the map, which to be fair is also in Motor Wars for GTA Online, which is its version of Battle Royale. But regardless, I really don't feel like they need to put the weapons on the map. Like, traditional Battle Royales, you just have to find the weapons. You don't exactly get told where exactly a weapon is. Red Dead Online will stay in beta for a few more months yet, as we have many more new gameplay features to add across the board, as well as further changes to improve, stabilize, and refine the overall experience. So when they say a few months, it makes me think that until the middle of this year, they're planning to keep the game as a beta. The earliest I can see a few is 4 months. That's what I was taught more, a few was 5 to 6, I feel, more so. I think those are the two best numbers to describe a few. 4 might even describe a few as well, that's why I brought that one up. More updates are coming soon, including new races and showdown modes and new clothing and emotes, as well as some additional changes based on player feedback, including, which we will be getting into later. But as for the new races and showdown modes, just like with this mode, they could technically introduce them at any point throughout the game. Unless they want to pair it with the first legitimate update of this game with weapons and stuff. And then the new clothing and emotes, I wouldn't be surprised if that goes into something later on that they mention, which I will be getting into later. Daily challenges. Tackle new challenges each day covering every aspect of the game, from sharpshooting to evading the law. So from what I get from that, it seems like they might be taking some aspects from the single player challenges, which would be pretty nice since there is a sharpshooter challenge. So it'd actually be pretty interesting if they took some daily challenges from the actual single player challenges. That'd be pretty interesting. I'd definitely have more replayability than GTA Online's daily challenges, in my personal opinion. To evading the law, which with this last part I feel like it has to come after one of these other updates, which in fact we'll be talking about next. But I just wanted to bring up that fact. But technically they could use the current law system to do the daily challenges, so it doesn't have to come after the next thing we mentioned technically. Law and bounty upgrades. Some changes are coming to the way the law and bounty systems work in Red Dead Online to reduce the enticements for griefing. Soon players will get a bounty for committing crimes, and will be incentivized to pay them off within an allotted time. Wait too long, and bounty hunters from each of the states will track the player, forcing them to either pay up or escape. So it sounds like they're going to make the bounty system, along with like the law, work similar to how it does in the single player. Since when I've got a bounty of a certain amount, I would notice bounty hunters pop up in single player, like randomly as I browse around the map. Pretty sure it could happen for all the territories as well, so it seems they'll be putting a system that's more closer to the single player system. And they really put a big emphasis on the anti-griefing mechanics of Red Dead Online beta that they were coming out with on like the last Newswire of updates before this. So I'm glad they're keeping their word on that. And it kind of gives a good feeling, but later on, as they may, of course, implement businesses for this game, who knows, anything can happen. We'll have to see if they'll honestly keep up with the anti-griefing. Because I don't know if that's going to be, like, I don't know if that's going to be good enough. People might not care to die and whatnot by, like, AI about lawmen. Honestly, I can see as a good way to stop the griefing, since the way they say it is you have to either pay up or you have to escape, and the way it works in like the single player, I feel like if you escape them, you're not like good for the rest of the game. Like, you'll probably find more allotment or bounty hunters throughout the map, even when that bounty's on you and you escape like the first time. So that would definitely be pretty good to see if that is indeed the case. Parley changes. We're making the Parley system easier to trigger so that you can avoid aggressive players more quickly. In addition, it will be easier to trigger feuds, posse feuds, and leader feuds to take on attacking players in structured competition. So this sounds like a double-edged sword. So the way it works right now is you have to kill someone like 4 times and then they have the ability to parlay, which makes you not able to attack them or them be able to attack you for 10 minutes. And of course, the fact that you have to die a few times is not really a good like parlay system. Like, I'm not sure if that's how like the one-on-one deathmatch thing works and stuff like that in GTA Online, where you have to die a couple times. But it's good that you'll be able to prevent being attacked by griefers easier later on throughout the Red Dead Online beta. But at the same time, they're making it easier to do like certain attack things. It says normal feuds, actually. I was about to say, like, I'm glad how it's like limited to like when you're in like a posse and like when you're in like certain events and stuff, but I don't know, it seems like it's gonna make griefing the slightest bit easier too, since you can just instantly invite someone to a feud. And then again, it's probably not gonna be able to force it similar to a one-on-one deathmatch. Proximity-based player blips. Player location blips will soon appear only over short distances, reducing the range at which you are visible to others, decreasing the likelihood of being targeted by another player across large areas. Down the line, we're also looking to reduce the ability to identify players who grief and kill indiscriminately, with a progressively darkening blip that becomes more visible and at a longer range. So everyone in a session can identify potentially dangerous opponents at a glance and from a safe distance. Yes. Thank you, Rockstar. Like, this is definitely going to be a pretty good change. Wasn't this like a feature in like the launch of Red Dead Redemption's Online? To be fair, I didn't really get to play Red Dead Redemption's Online since I haven't really played that game much when I mained a 360, and now, of course, I'm in a PS4 since Xbox 360's last generation, of course. But now it's gonna become more like a Wild West game. Like, I can kind of understand why you can see people's blips anywhere in GTA Online, since it's in the modern day and there's like satellites these days and whatnot, but in like a game in the 1800s, you should not be able to see people wherever they are. Like, I really don't think that makes sense. So seeing proximity-based player blips is definitely a really good step in the right direction. And they seem like they're going to introduce the mental state of this game, similar to GTA Online, which had the mental state as of like the High Life update in 2014 for Grand Theft Auto Online. So the way they're going to do is they're going to like punish you for grieving. At least that's what their current plans are. So the more you grieve, the more you're making yourself open to the other players in the game. Really, definitely like that. Like, so far all the anti-grieving measures they're doing are really in the right direction, aside from like a certain part of the Parley changes, but I guess it kind of makes sense for that one to be more of a double-edged sword. So, hopefully this will open up the possibility of proximity chat as well later on, which proximity chat was in Red Dead Redemption. So you don't have to hear people that you can't see. Like, that would be annoying. In fact, I think they should do proximity chat when they do that feature as well, but on that announcement, they didn't really seem to mention anything about proximity chat, which is highly unfortunate. We are working on lots of new content that we will be releasing this year. Just a few of the updates in the works are all new missions to build on your story in the land of opportunities from previously established characters like Corley and Jessica Leclerc, and some new ones as well. So that is definitely some really good news there. It seems they're really going to emphasize on the story missions throughout this game. I really like the way that they've been doing these missions so far in Red Dead Online Beta. Like, legit, there's full-on cutscenes, and mission gameplay is pretty unique per mission. Obviously, of course, it's probably going to impact the amount of like things you can do. I mean, the amount of missions they make. So of course they probably won't be able to release as much as like GTA Online, for example, which, to be fair, never really gets contact missions anyways, aside from rare circumstances. And even then, they don't have like unique cutscenes and much like unique things to do. It's certain things. Gameplay-wise, it actually does have more unique things to do, but like there's no unique cutscenes aside from like the Lamar missions from like GTA Online Lowriders. So I'm glad they like have unique cutscenes for all of these missions. And I hope they don't pull like a dispatch ever with Red Dead Online Beta's story missions where they just like get lazy and don't like ask a voice actor, or if a voice actor like declines to do some work for Red Dead Online Beta, like they don't like try to introduce a character and like have some like text, just like text stuff telling you what to do, similar to how dispatch worked once again. So it'll be really interesting to see what they do with it. Definitely, for sure. A range of dynamic events throughout the world. So things such as free mode events, it sounds like. So basically it's the Red Dead Online beta version of the free mode events. But who knows if they're going to be as detailed as the free mode events from GTA Online back in like September 2015. Which I believe was the very first like multiplayer exclusive update after like Xbox 360 and PS3 lost its compatibility basically with GTA Online since they discontinued updates for those systems. It's just like the way beginning of Red Dead Online beta, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're not as detailed as the free mode event update from GTA Online. Lots of new competitive modes, including new showdown modes and races. And I hope they make it easier to distinguish like how many maps there are, because like in GTA Online they number adversary modes like 1 through 7 in Roman numerals, which I don't really like that system too much, but I wish there was a way to see all the different like maps you could do and like choose your maps, rather than the game like forcing you to go in certain maps it wants you to go in. Plus new weapons and clothing, and lots more that we're not quite ready to announce just yet. which I think they can include the emotes with that as well, since they mentioned something about emotes earlier. But yes, we're going to get new weapons and clothing. Now, GTA Online got a November DLC for 2013, I believe, as its first DLC, like 2 months down the line, which we're already, I think, seeing a slower pace. Except actually, this game probably hasn't even been out for 2 months, so we'll have to see. So if GTA Online's not even to judge by what they're like thinking, then we may see an update in the next month with weapons at the earliest, but definitely because Red Dead Online beta's in a beta stage and technically call GTA Online a beta ever, we may end up not seeing new weapons for like a couple months. That's what my thinking is, at least. Finally, to end off this video, Xbox One players can also now access the Red Chestnut Arabian Horse, Alligator Skin Ranch Cutter Saddle, and the High Roller Double Action Revolver in the Red Dead Online beta. So, that's going to be it for this video, and by the way, I don't know if they cost for Xbox players, considering we had it for 30 days, maybe even more, since they just announced it on here, so it might have got a little more than 30 days exclusivity. But it'd be interesting to see if Xbox One players have to pay for these, or if there's going to be like a certain point where these items are going to cost. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed.